Garrick and I are here to do a little Q&A. So we are going to address some of the questions that we've been getting in the comment section. Not all of them today. Some of them are big meaty issues, and some of them are questions that I don't think are entirely sincere, that seem to be trying to just sort of trap me with all of these weird misunderstandings, sort of rumors about Hinduism. So I don't know whether I'm going to address those or not, or just leave them be because they're ridiculous. First question, is my name Amba? It is not. My given name is Carolyn, and I go by Amba on my blog because when I originally started my blog 7 years ago, it was anonymous. I didn't give any personal details about me and who I was. So I looked for another name to use, and I remembered my Sanskrit teacher when I was a teenager assigning me that name, and I'll get back to that later in this video. Basically because I was really fascinated by Amba's story in the Mahabharata. I've always really felt sad for her and her situation. So anyway, that is why I go by Amba, and I have debated a lot back and forth about whether to legally change my name, because in one sense I would like to have a name that reflects my religion. I feel like it could help open doors to have that on my identifying information, like my passport, but it does seem a little like going a little too far, I guess, and especially because I am close with my parents and it feels really disrespectful to them to change the name that they gave me. So far I'm still Carolyn, and I go by Amba sometimes in some places. Say hi, Garrick. Yeah, so that's another question. What is my son's name? This is Garrick Ravi. Garrick is a family name of my husband's, and he always wanted to name a son that, so that was his first name, and I got to pick his middle name. And he is also called Little Shiva at the temple that we go to. That's what the Pandit calls him. And our friend in Sringeri calls him Advait. So he's got lots of auspicious, wonderful names. Yes, you do. How many gods are there? Well, it may surprise some of you to know that I am monotheistic. I don't want to go as far as to say all Hindus are monotheistic, but a lot of them are. You know, some are polytheistic, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's my opinion. I view the many gods as a metaphor for one God, that basically God is so vast that the limited human mind can't comprehend him in fullness in one aspect, in one form. So we have all the different gods to represent different aspects of the one God. But I'm Advaitin, and Advaitins believe that that all of us make up the one universal divinity, that the universe is not like that God is not this separate entity, but that all of us together make up God. There are some people who believe that the gods are kind of like angels, that they are a separate type of being, but not the ultimate like divinity. Some would say Brahma is the ultimate divinity, or Vishnu is the ultimate, but there are multiple gods sort of on the next tier below them. And so that's another way that some people look at it, but for me it's just all aspects of one divinity. And I think Hindus are extremely varied in belief, because there is no pope, there is no one book that just tells you this is the one way, because there's a lot of different ways of looking at the world, a lot of different ways of finding truth, a lot of paths up the mountain, as we always say. Yeah. And yeah. What was I saying? Yes. So there's like 330 million different ways of looking at God, and that way is mine. Am I afraid of hell? No. no, I think the entire concept of hell is very far-fetched and pretty ridiculous. When you look at the way that the world works, there's just no reason at all to think that there's a hell. It just does not make sense in any way at all. I'm not okay worshiping a god who would send someone to punishment for all eternity. That's not a god to me. That's petty, vindictive, mean, and not someone worthy of worship, in my opinion. And I don't do things just in case, because I think that you'd end up trying to do all kinds of things if you were like, oh, just in case there's a hell, I'm going to behave as though there is. I mean, that seems like a silly way to live life. Do I know Sanskrit? My parents study Sanskrit, and they started before I was born. So when I was growing up, I learned a lot of the Vedic prayers, like the Gayatri Mantra, the Perfect Prayer, Asatoma, and I learned to read the Devanagari alphabet, the Devanagari script, and I took some classes when I was a teenager with a teacher in SES, and I just learned some real basics. Real basics! Yes, real basics! And then in college I took a semester of Sanskrit, and it was brutally hard. Like, I thought I'd have an advantage because I knew the alphabet already and I had had some experience with it, but my advantage was gone within 1 week. Everyone learned everything that I had known in 1 week. And Sanskrit is an extremely beautiful and complex language, so it's really hard to learn, in my opinion. I'm not very good with languages. So its grammar is very intense, and we basically spent that entire semester doing nothing but learning grammar rules, and I barely passed. It was tough experience. So that's the last time I studied Sanskrit, and that was a long time ago. Long time ago. So now I always ask my mom my Sanskrit questions, and I took up learning Hindi, which is also challenging for me because I just don't have a talent for languages, but I try really hard, and I love Hindi. I'm able to read the script because of my experience with Sanskrit, so that's nice, and I just keep on trying. I would say I'm about the level of a 3-year-old, but I keep on trying. Yeah, so I think that's all the questions for today. Thank you for watching, and let me know anything else that you would like me to address. I will be doing a video on the caste system and whether I worship idols, but I thought those each kind of deserve their own video. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I hope that you enjoyed it. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. You can look for the little circle with my face in it, click on that, and you will be subscribed. If you click the little bell icon, you can get notifications whenever I post a video, so you can make sure you don't miss out on anything. I've got tons of great videos planned, and I'm making sure that they just keep getting better and better.